the most dangerous international treaty ever proposed. The government body of the WHO, the World Health Organization, is set to consider a new pandemic treaty and amendments to the 2005 International Health Regulations, which some believe could be the most dangerous international treaty ever proposed. Human history is a story of forgotten lessons. Despite the catastrophic collapse of European democracy in the 1930s, it appears at the tail of the 20th century in which citizens, cowed by existential threats, acquiesced in the rejection of liberty and truth in favor of obedience and propaganda, whilst allowing despotic leaders to seize even more absolutist powers, and is perilously close to being forgotten. Nowhere is this more evident than the relation to the apparent nonchalance which is greeted two international legal agreements currently working their way through the World Health Organization, a new pandemic treaty, and amendments to the 2005 International Health Regulations, both due to be put before the governing body of the WHO, the World Health Assembly, in May next year. As concerned scholars and jurists have detailed, these agreements threaten to fundamentally reshape the relationship between the WHO, national governments, and individuals. They would hardwire into international law a top-down supranational approach to public health, in which the WHO, acting in some cases via the sole discretion of one individual, its director, Tedros Ghebreyesus, would be empowered to impose sweeping, legally binding directions on member states and their citizens, ranging from mandating financial contributions by individual states to requiring their manufacture and international sharing of vaccines or other health products, to requiring the surrender of intellectual property rights, overriding national safety protocol approval processes for vaccines, gene-based therapies, medical devices and diagnostics, and imposing national, regional, and global quarantines, preventing citizens from traveling, and mandating medical examinations and even treatments. A global system for digital health certificates for verification of vaccine status or test results would be routinized, and a biosurveillance network whose purpose would be to identify viruses and variants of concern, and to monitor national compliance with WHO policy directives in the event of them, would be embedded and expanded. For any of these sweeping powers to be invoked, there would be no requirement for an actual health emergency in which people are suffering measurable harm. Instead, it would be sufficient for the DG, that's the Director General of WHO, acting on his or her discretion, to have identified the mere potential for such an event. It's hard to overstate the impact of these proposals on member states' sovereignty, individual human rights, foundational principles of medical ethics, and child welfare. As currently drafted, these proposals would deny UK sovereignty and governmental autonomy over health and social policies, and through the indirect impacts of forced lockdowns and quarantines, and because each member state would be required to commit a staggering minimum of 5% of national health budgets and an as yet unspecified percentage of GDP towards the WHO pandemic prevention and response, also over critical aspects of economic policy. And this is on Great Game India. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support, and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.